What if your value could boil down to one other person? Of course, your value is far beyond one other person. Of course, you are so incredibly important to your family. No doubt you have so many positive impacts on your family, your close friends. But let's take those people out of the equation, right? That's sort of a given. What about making an impact on one other person that is not a close friend, that is not in your family? What if your value is tied to that, to this one other person? It might not even be somebody you've met yet. What's important, though, is that you have to get yourself in a position that you would be able to impact that person when they do come along by strengthening yourself, by finding the courage to step up and leave behind the shame, the guilt, paralyzing fear, lack of self-worth, allowing some trauma in your past to keep you down, living your life controlled by feelings. Once you get yourself in a position that you can actually use what you've been through to positively impact another person, then you're ready. You'll be in a position to do just that. When I wrote my first book, Still Standing After All the Tears, which was 10 years ago, I was scared to death. I'd never written a book before. I didn't have it all figured out. Yeah, whoever does have it all figured out, right? But I thought, well, you know what? What if I could impact just one other person? What if one other woman who had a son or daughter in addiction or was going through anything else found a nugget of wisdom, something in those words, in my experience, that could help them get up off the mat and start living again, that could help them to unburden themselves from the shame and the guilt and everything else that goes with those types of things. What if just one other person, it would be worth all the work it took to write Still Standing After All the Tears and the workbooks. It would be worth it all if one woman just opened up that workbook and applied that information, that wisdom, those perspectives to their life. It would be worth all of it. And you know what? It would even be worth everything I was going through with Jamie at the time. So that's the way I want you to look at your life. And you don't need to write a book. You don't have to have a YouTube channel. It could be just somebody that you meet. All you have to be is a little further down the road than they are to be an inspiration. Somebody out there is in the dark looking for someone like you to help lead them out of that darkness. If you want to get yourself in that position, you really should read my latest book called Burn the Map. I think that is going to give you so much inspiration, tons and tons of wisdom, and even some stories and perspectives of other people that will get you in that position. And I think by the time you get to the chapters toward the end, that's really going to inspire you to start shining your light right there in the darkness and help lead at least one other person out. I don't know about you, but I don't want to get to heaven and think, whoa, I missed an opportunity. I don't want to stand before God and have him go, I let you go through all of that because there was this one person and she or he was out there waiting for you. You were the one that was supposed to come along and inspire them, but you missed it. I know you don't want to miss it either. So now is the time. Today, time is flying by. There's no more time to wait, no more time to waste. Get your copy of Burn the Map. Do whatever it takes for you to get yourself in a position to be the best version of yourself possible so that you can use your story for good because your story matters. So start living it courageously